Hello everyone and welcome to Dallas Hoops Fancast. I'm your host Sydney and I'm here with my co-host Martin.
Hey guys.
You can follow me on Twitter at _Sydney Myers. The show is at Dallas Hoopscast and the website is DallasHoopscast.com. Now in this episode, we're going to do just a massive free agency overview of just everything. Cap space, players that we think the Mavericks should target, Tim Hardaway Jr., just everything free agency. And on DallasHoopscast.com, I'm going to publish an article of who we think are the top 10 free agents the Mavericks should target. So we're going to talk about more than 10 players, hopefully in this episode, unless it would be like two hours long. I don't know. But and then the article, you'll kind of see the top 10, just a brief overview. So that'll be on the website, DallasHoopscast.com. We're going to get to that. But first, there's something that we have to address. Like, it's just, I was going to ignore it, to be honest with you, but I think it's just gotten out of hand and we need to talk about it. And I, of course, am talking about the just extreme disrespect that Dirk is getting on Twitter lately. And I know you're not on the Twitters anymore, so I'll fill you in. And for our listeners, if you're not on Twitter, I'll fill you in too. So I've seen this from multiple people, but one of the most popular tweets got, I don't even know how many thousands of likes and retweets or whatever, of this dude saying that Anthony Davis is greater than Dirk, both talent-wise and all-time. And he's not like the only person that's saying that. I've been seeing a lot of people starting to put Anthony Davis on this pedestal of, I don't know, an all-time great, because I don't even know why. Because
he's about to win a championship.
I mean, which is great. Don't get me wrong. He's the second best player on a championship team. But that's the point. He's not even the best player on his team. Now,
they're trying to push the narrative that he's the best player. But come on, guys.
It's LeBron.
Everybody, like, deep in your heart of hearts,
you know
it's LeBron. And
I don't get it. And I think that it's a bunch of, like, 14-year-olds that only saw old Dirk.
Yep.
And like, look,
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being 14. I'm not saying that you guys are all idiots. I'm just saying you didn't clearly you did not see Dirk in his prime, because and all the responses to this tweet were like, yeah, Dirk's like the oldest player ever. All he can do is whatever, and he doesn't play any defense, and which is always the knock on Dirk. He didn't play defense, whatever.
Which was a load of crap.
Yeah, but it's like old. I mean, slow. Like Dirk. Okay, so that tells me that you only saw Dirk from like 2015 onwards. Okay, which means you're like 5. Okay, I don't get it. And like, look, Anthony Davis, he's probably like 99% chance they're going to win a championship. So he's about to win a championship. That's great. He might get finals MVP. I don't know. I think that LeBron is going to get it. But honestly, I understand if you want to make the argument for Anthony Davis getting it. So he might get finals MVP. But Dirk, finals MVP, clearly. So even if Anthony Davis gets it, he's not even the clear winner for it. Dirk, finals MVP, champion, regular season MVP, 30,000 points, and currently more All-NBA teams. I mean, more All-Star appearances. I just don't understand why Anthony Davis is suddenly... He just suddenly goes to play with freaking LeBron James and of course wins a championship, and now he's an all-time great. And it's like, I don't understand that. And I'm going to let you talk.
No, it's okay. Get it out of your system.
Okay, but let me just say this. So people are talking about whatever he did with New Orleans. And I mean, like, I get it. He didn't always have the talent around him in New Orleans. And like, that's a fact. I get that. But we're talking about Dirk, who led a team to the finals in 2006, who the second best player was who? Who was the second best player on that finals team?
Josh Howard.
Or like...
I mean, just... That's all you need to say. Josh Howard.
Okay, and then in 2011, who was the second best player in the playoffs? Now, Caron Butler...
Butler only averaged 14 points a game.
And I'm sorry for headphone wearers. I'm probably blowing your ears out. But people are talking about, he played with Caron Butler in 2011. It's like, What? Caron Butler got injured in like February. Yeah. He didn't play the rest of the season or the playoffs. Okay, so the second best player in the playoffs was probably who? Jason Terry? I mean, maybe
Tyson.
If you want to go by
it just kind of depends.
Ethereal things that aren't tangible.
This is the whole point.
We can't even figure it out.
Yeah.
Did Dirk ever play? Oh, and by the way, remember that time that Anthony Davis got his championship by beating LeBron James instead of joining him? Oh, no, wait. That was Dirk who did that. And Anthony Davis freaking joined him. Okay. Second of all, I don't even know if I finished that first point because my brain's just exploding right now. But second of all, Anthony Davis, yeah, he averaged like 28 points and 11 rebounds, 11 rebounds for the New Orleans Pelicans, and they won like 40 games, okay? Meanwhile, Dirk, with less talent than what other superstars have, they're consistently winning 50 games a season, which is one thing that makes Dirk so great, is that he contributed to winning 50 games a season for like a decade or something.
15 years or something.
Yeah. Okay. So then Anthony Davis goes to the Lakers and playing with freaking LeBron James. And this year he averaged 26 points and 9.3 rebounds. Okay. So yeah, in New Orleans, he averaged like 10 to 12 rebounds. This year he's averaging 9.3 rebounds and 26 points. Get this. So he's 26-year-old, averaging 26 and 9. You know what Dirk averaged when he was 26? 26 and 9. Okay, actually more rebounds. He averaged 26.1 points and 9.7 rebounds. So it's like all these people talking about how Dirk didn't do this and this and this, and it's like bullcrap. He didn't play with LeBron James, and when he was younger, which obviously you guys weren't even born yet, he was doing the same thing that Anthony Davis is doing. Now, granted, he didn't win a championship at that age, but
he also didn't have LeBron James.
Yeah, eventually he won the championship. There's like two different stories.
Well, and I believe he went to the finals when he was 26 years old.
That was in 2005.
Okay, so the next season.
Yeah, the very next season, they went to the finals. And if he had LeBron James, I bet you they win the championship that year.
Had a ref.
Yeah, or had a ref that wasn't trying to screw him over. Yeah, so it's just like I can't even, and that's not even getting into all of the accolades that Dirk has, the 30,000 points, the 25 and 10 in the playoffs, the leading teams to 50 wins that like nobody else has done, the career achievements that he has. And that's the thing with what I don't get with people anointing these younger guys as all-time greats when like Anthony Davis isn't even out of his prime yet. And so people talk about he has a higher points per game average in the playoffs than, whatever, Tim Duncan. It's like, well, of course he does. He's freaking 26 years old.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan played till he was 40. Let's see what Anthony Davis is averaging when he's 40 and not playing with LeBron, okay? So it's like, that's what I don't get is when they anoint these guys when they haven't even done it. And like, look, Anthony Davis is a great player, and this championship, he is a part of that. Like, he is a top player in the league, and he might go on to be an all-time great player. Heck, he might go on to be better than Dirk. Who knows? But the fact is, he hasn't done it yet, and I don't know why he gets all of this credit when Dirk had to freaking fight tooth and nail when
to
literally
get respect.
He's doing the exact same thing, except in my opinion better, because he didn't have that second guy like Anthony Davis has right now.
Or really the first guy, but whatever. Yeah.
Anyways, so did you have anything to add to that?
Look, this was Dirk's entire career summed up in this.
Pretty much.
I mean,
and then Anthony Davis just gets it. Doesn't even have to do anything for it.
Well, and that's the thing, some players, the media gives them a free pass.
Yeah.
And then some players, they have to earn everything that they get. And Anthony Davis with the Pelicans, yes, the Pelicans didn't have great teams. But I'll tell you right now, after post Steve Nash in 2004 or 5 or whenever the last season was Steve Nash, Drew Holiday would have been the best player Dirk ever played with.
Yeah. I mean, listen to...
And that's a true statement.
Yeah.
Okay? Drew Holiday in his prime would have been the best player Dirk has ever played with because he didn't get Jason Kidd in his prime.
No.
He didn't get Sean Marion in his prime.
No.
He didn't get... Jason Terry's a sixth man.
He didn't get Steve Nash in his prime, if we're being honest. It wasn't like he had two-time MVP Steve Nash.
So, yes, Dirk put up... Look, Dirk did more to win than any player that I've ever seen. And it's not just the numbers, the points per game and the rebounds.
It's the winning.
And the impact that Dirk had while he was on the court. He drew more attention than any player I have ever seen. And why? Because he was a killer when he had the ball.
And they knew it.
And every
opponents
team
knew it.
And so he created so much spacing for the rest of his team. He literally made his team better just by him being on the court. That's why he was able to take teams with freaking Antoine Wright and Sagana Diop and Erica Dampier
to the finals.
And Josh Howard, but he got ripped every year in the playoffs because he would go out in the first or second round, which first of all wasn't true. Did it happen a lot? Yes. But that was a result of him making his team better than what they actually were.
Yeah, people say they're only a first round team. That's not true.
It is
actually not true.
Did they go out in the first round?
Sometimes,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was a result because he made his team look better in the regular season. Then in the playoffs, when you go against a team that's actually good and can expose your flaws, they
could take those other players out because they
it's not
sucked.
like Dirk's numbers were less or anything. He had one bad playoff series. That was 2007.
Yeah, which every player had. Kobe got swept. Yes. LeBron got
So,
swept.
Dirk never played with Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Anthony Davis. He never had that guy. He had Steve Nash for 5 minutes. And like an idiot, Mark Cuban didn't re-sign him. Imagine what they would have done together if he had Steve Nash. They may have won 3, 4, 5 championships, and we wouldn't be having this freaking conversation. But Anthony Davis, when he was with the Pelicans, he got all this praise. It was never his fault why his team couldn't win. But when Dirk couldn't win, it was always, can Dirk lead the team? It was ridiculous. But you know what? I'm not even surprised. There's no point in even getting riled up.
I'm riled up.
We know.
I have been riled.
Well, yeah, because it's the disrespect.
And it's dumb. It's like, I don't understand. And it's like, okay, the talent with the Pelicans was not great. I get that. Dirk also did not have great talent, except he led those teams
to 50 wins.
50 wins and the finals. I don't get it.
So you gotta just let it go because this was Dirk's. I watched Dirk's entire career.
Yeah,
this was what it was always like. Garnett always got pushed ahead of him. Duncan got pushed ahead of him. For crying out loud,
Barkley,
Gasol got pushed ahead of him from time to time.
It took a freaking sweep of the Lakers for people to finally stop saying that Pau Gasol was better than Dirk. Okay,
look,
yes.
Dirk does not get that respect. Fine. One of the things that hurts him when he played 21 seasons is the generation of people that started watching. They only saw Dirk that could barely walk.
Yeah.
And it's a load of crap. But
so it's like, okay, that's all.
Now, Anthony Davis may very well become better than Dirk Nowitzki.
But
that's a tall mountain to climb. You don't understand the career that this man had. Yeah. 30,000 points.
You don't
Finals MVP. 13-time All-Star. How many All-NBAs?
I think 14 or 14, something.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous how good Dirk Nowitzki was. It gets no credit.
So I had to address that. I know it's people on Twitter, and I get it. Like, I've been doing this for a long time, and internet stuff just doesn't bother me anymore. But that was crossing the line. Okay. So, free agency is coming up. Now, okay, I'm not a cap expert. I'm just going to be honest with you. But I think that the Mavericks, this is my calculations that I've come to after several minutes of research. I think that they're going to have, if Hardaway opts out, they're going to have about $20 million of cap space.
Plus that's my guess. Mid-level.
Plus they'll have the mid-level and the biannual exception. But they'll have like possibly $20 million, again, if my research is correct. And so before we even start talking about free agents and who they should go after, we first have to address Tim Hardaway Jr. because he can opt in for, I think it's like $18 million. And that pretty much straps them. They would have no cap space. They would still have the mid-level.
Which is about $9 million.
And the biannual, yeah. So we can still talk about free agents. But talking about Hardaway, I know you have a pretty strong theory that I agree with on what he's going to do.
Well, he's going to opt out. I don't understand. Now, okay, look, I might be wrong. So I'm not going to go up here and be like, you guys are all idiots. I might be wrong. But I can't understand why people are saying he's going to opt in because he's not going to let that $18, $19 million walk. But what Tim Hardaway did this year as a starter for the Mavs, he's worth what he got paid this year.
True.
And he was not an overpaid player this year. So let's not act like they were overpaying him.
I'd have to, yeah.
So
I'd have to agree.
He's going to get that on the open market. There is no way he is going into a final year of his deal.
But more importantly, if he opts in, what do you think that would lead to with him having a 1 year deal?
He's going to get traded.
Yeah, it makes him like instant trade bait.
Yeah, so if he wants to stay in Dallas, his best chance of staying in Dallas is to opt out and signing a long-term deal at a price that both him and the Mavericks are comfortable with. If he opts in, he's getting traded on draft night.
Yeah.
Most likely.
I mean, probably. Like, there's a chance a trade doesn't open up that they like, in which case we'll keep him, blah, blah, blah.
But if there's a chance you can upgrade
yeah,
and bring in a potential star, he's going to get traded. So in my opinion, he's opting out. He's 28 years old. 18 million is a really good number for what he did this year.
Yeah.
So he averaged 17 points a game as a starter, shot over 40% from three-point land as a starter. Mm-hmm. That's worth what he got paid this year.
On a team that made the playoffs.
That was good.
That gave the Clippers a run for
played
the money.
well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So he's going to, in my opinion, he's going to opt out and he's going to sign a long-term deal.
Which might be with the Mavericks,
yes.
but we're just saying,
yeah.
like, that's...
And even if it's for 17, 18 million, that is a good price for what you're getting with him.
Now, I mean, I think there's a possibility that he does opt in, maybe, I don't know.
I can't imagine a scenario where he opts in.
Yeah.
Like, you're 28 years old. This is going to be your last big contract.
Maybe he feels... Okay, it could be that teams don't want to spend money next year because they all want to save it for next year, or they don't want to spend money this year because they want to save it for next year. So that's a possibility, but I agree with you. I think that if he opts in with that 1 year deal, and it's a large contract, but it's not untradeable, so that's enough to get a substantial package back. It's an expiring deal. He's a good player. I think there's just too many reasons why he's not instantly trade bait at that point.
If he opts in, he's going to be traded to Indiana. For Victor Oladipo and the 18th pick that the Mavs have.
Are you calling it?
I mean, why wouldn't the Mavs do that?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't they do that?
I don't know, injuries or something?
Yeah, but again, it's a low risk, high reward because Oladipo's on a last year for $30 million or $25 million, whatever. It opens up their cap space for 2021 so they can keep Oladipo. Maybe he has a breakout year. He's back to his normal self. Great, you have your third guy. Mm-hmm. But if he doesn't work out, you have that money for 2021.
Yeah,
so
it's a win-win.
If he opts in, he's not going to be a Maverick.
Yeah, and I agree with you. So I think that he's going to opt out, in which case they might re-sign him, but either way, they're going to have about $20 million. He'll be a free agent to consider, but there are other free agents that they could consider, which is what we're going to talk about.
I think if he opts out, the Mavs have a number in mind what they want to bring him back at.
What do you think it would be?
I have no idea. But the Mavericks know.
The Mavericks know.
And I don't know if Tim Hardaway is going to be happy with it. Because he'll probably want to, again, this is going to be his last big contract. So he'll probably want something pretty substantial.
It depends. So age changes people. He's either going to want a ton of money or he's going to want to win. And those two things don't usually go together in the NBA. So he could opt to stay with the Mavericks for 15 to 18 million, or he could opt to go with, the Hawks for whatever they offer him.
I don't know.
It just depends.
In my opinion, though, there is absolutely no reason whatsoever he would opt in. People act like 19 million was overpaying for Tim Hardaway, and it is not. He is worth what he did this year.
This year, you're not.
Yes.
So, but going forward, you don't think he's worth.
Would
you pay him that much?
He's
Answer
not,
the question.
He's not my first option in free agency.
Right. Okay. And
so
I
if
think
he
that's
opts
kind of
out,
what we're getting to.
Yeah, I want to bring him back unless I can get something else.
Okay. So let's go down the list. Hardaway will eventually be on this list. I don't know if we'll talk about him.
So this list is hypothetically Hardaway opts out.
Yes, Hardaway opts out. So they'll have about 20 million. Now, some of these free agents could fit into the exceptions, though, the mid-level or the biannual exception. So we're going to cite some players, and you're like, that guy's not worth 20 million, but it's more just like he's a free agent they could target. And this, I have this table sorted by points per game. I don't know if this is necessarily like our top guy to our least favorite guy, but we'll just go through. You know what? We're just going to do the list. Player number 1, DeMar DeRozan.
If he opts out.
So I'll go
he also
through
has a
the
player
things.
option.
Yeah, he has a player option. He made $28 million last year. I don't know if he'll get that, but I don't know. What do you think? $28 million.
I think the Mavericks offer him that.
But yeah, he has a player option, so he might opt in for that, or he might opt out. Let's say hypothetically he opts out. That's one player. Now, I know that the knock on him is, I think mostly it's the fact that he's a 2-point scorer. He doesn't shoot threes at all, really. And in today's NBA, 3-point shooting is extremely important. So people are automatically like, no, we don't want him. I don't know. Do you see that as a problem? Or is that a deal breaker?
No, because he's efficient. He's an efficient 2-point scorer. Like
right.
he shot over 50% from 2, and that's really what the analytics are telling you.
He shot 54% on 2s.
And so the analytics are telling you, unless you can shoot 50% from 2, it's a bad shot, because
a 3-pointer is a better shot.
Yes, at 33% from 3, it's a better shot than like 45% or something from 2. Whatever the numbers are, I don't know.
Yeah.
But since he's over that threshold,
it's fine.
Yes, he's very super efficient. If the Mavericks have the cap space and he opts out, they, in my opinion, they go after him. I know people don't really have him high on their radar right now, but the disrespect that DeMar DeRozan is getting right now is pretty unbelievable. So if the Mavericks have a chance to get him, you better sign him.
Well, look at what he did with the Raptors.
Yeah, he was the leading scorer on a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So you lost to LeBron, who didn't.
Yeah.
But he was there, and he led the team in scoring, and they had the second best record in the East.
Yeah, he averaged, so his second to last season with Toronto, he averaged 27 points and then 23 points. This past season, he averaged 22 points. And so, like, I get the knock of him not shooting threes, because he shoots like half a 3 a game. That's probably like a bailout shot or something. He doesn't shoot threes, and I get it, but I think, like you said, when you talk about like the advanced analytics of not shooting threes, so okay, like go down that road. Why do you not shoot why do you not shoot 2s? What kind of 2s do you avoid? Like, if you fully go down the road, I think that DeMar DeRozan not shooting threes isn't a deal breaker. Now, obviously, I get it. The NBA is about shooting threes, and I understand that, and I think that doesn't make him a perfect player. Like, he's not your typical star that's averaging 20-plus points a game. However, I think it's fine. It's kind of the point that I'm making. Is like, yeah, I understand that, and I do think it could be a problem in some ways, but I'm okay with it. I think it's fine because he's a bucket, and he's clutch, and he's big time. And I think with having Luka and Kristaps and these other guys that can space the floor, I don't know. I think it could work.
He's never had an issue scoring.
Yeah, that's kind of like my.
He's never had an issue scoring. I think the Mavericks saw how valuable having a second ball handler, a second creator. When they had Trey Burke go off for a couple of games, you saw how valuable that was for the Mavericks. Luka still got his numbers, but he had another guy out there that could create, that could score off the dribble.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody else right now that can get his own shot. It's really Luka is the only guy that can get his own shot. Mm-hmm. Everybody else is kind of reliant on Luka.
Yeah.
You bring in DeRozan with the spacing, because Luka spaces the floor too. You're not going to just give him open threes.
Or just as a playmaker, you have to constantly watch what he's doing.
Yeah. So in my opinion, DeRozan makes the Mavs contenders next year, and I know a lot of people probably think that's a bit ridiculous, but we got to remember that DeRozan's a perennial all-star. The guy, he's a scoring machine.
I mean, he's a a 4-time All-Star, but he's in the conversation. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like he's the answer and like this is absolutely what they've been waiting for 10 years. But I'm saying like if he's a free agent and he's available and you have the cap space, I think he's a player that you go after.
It also gives you veteran toughness, a guy that's been in big games, big moments, that can hit big shots. To me, that would be my number one free agent target, would be DeMar DeRozan. But I think I'm kind of on an island on that one.
Yeah, I mean, okay, if they get him, I think it's great. And like I said, I don't see a problem really with the 2-pointers. I don't know if it's like all or nothing on him. Like, if you don't get him, crap, we're screwed. If you can bring back Hardaway or any of these other guys. Yeah, I think that he's on the list. and that you go after him. He's an intriguing guy. I think that, I don't know. For me, he's a target. Next, again, this is just sorted by points per game. Montrezl Harrell is our second guy. He is an unrestricted free agent. He came off the bench, averaged 18.5 points, 7 rebounds. We talked about this in our last episode, that there was kind of that beef with him and Luka.
It's no longer a beef.
It seemed like they smoothed it over, so I'm okay with Harrell. But yeah, I mean, I think coming off the bench, 6th man of the year candidate, or won 6th man of the year. Right?
Yeah, he won 6th man of the year, yeah.
I don't know. I think that's an upgrade over what they currently have.
Yeah, to me, it just depends on the price. Because I don't want to pay too much for a guy coming off the bench.
And do you think somebody would be stupid and come in and like offer the max or something? You know, like
you never know.
His max.
I don't know what really hurt him and what helps the Mavs is that his playoff performance was terrible. And he showed a lot of deficiencies in the playoffs that he couldn't even, technically he shouldn't even been playing.
Yeah.
You know, because defensively he was just terrible. So for the right price, I'd love to get him in here and do some pick and rolls for Dirk with Luka for about 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, maybe longer depending on how it's going on the game, but not for a whole lot of money.
Okay, so let's play the other side of it. You talked about his size, how that was a problem in the playoffs. And if you look at, the West and how it's going to be, I mean, you have the Rockets who are small, but you might be going up against the Lakers for the next 5 years.
And the great Anthony Davis.
So is that enough of a problem to where you're like, you know what, he just doesn't fit?
I'd still take him, but for the right price.
Okay.
I'm not overpaying for Montrezl Harrell.
What would you pay
I have
him?
No idea.
Excellent.
But I don't want it to be too much.
Last year he made $6 million.
He's definitely making more than that. He's probably going to get offered, I would think, like a 4-year $60 million or something, or 3-year $50 million, something like that.
Yeah, I think that he's an upgrade coming off the bench over what they currently have, which is either like a Maxey, Boban, Powell, maybe.
He's
something
clearly
in
an
there.
upgrade. He won 6th man of the year.
Yeah. And so like I love Maxey, and Maxey was like just so much better than I thought he would be. Especially his defensive versatility was incredible. So that's not to say that I think Maxey is garbage or that they definitely need to upgrade, but I think it would be fairly simple to upgrade from Maxey because, it's not like he was going out there and dropping like 15, 20 points a game. So I think Montrez is a pretty obvious upgrade over what they currently have off the bench. So that's our next number 2 guy. Third player is a point guard. It's Fred VanVleet, but again, going back to your argument of having that second ball handler on the court with Luka, and then again, what he's doing with Toronto playing with Kyle Lowry,
he clearly
might not
can
be
play,
a problem.
Yeah, he clearly can play off the ball.
Yeah.
And I guess that's really a question that he would have to ask himself. I can't imagine him leaving Toronto because he likes it there.
Won a championship.
Yeah, so I can't imagine him leaving Toronto. But if he's available, I think the Mavericks should get him. I mean, his size bothers me a little bit, but he's going to be guarding the point guards on the defensive end of the court. And he's a really good defender. He's a really good playmaker. He's a big shot maker. So I would be willing to pay him pretty significantly if we brought him in and have him as our starting 2 instead of Tim Hardaway. Yeah,
so last year he averaged 17.5 points, almost 4 rebounds, 6.7 assists, almost 2 steals a game. So scoring-wise...
And defense.
Yeah, scoring-wise about the same as Hardaway as a starter. I know Hardaway hit for the season it was like 15 points, but he came off the bench for some of that. So scoring-wise similar, but
they're different scorers.
He has other things.
They're different kind of scorers. Hardaway is really a catch-and-shoot 3 guy. VanVleet can create his own offense. Yeah. So it's a different 17 points per game.
Hardaway wasn't the kind of playmaker that I thought he was going to be. Like, and I don't mean just setting up other guys and, in terms of getting assists, but I just mean like making plays with the ball. He can do it. I mean, obviously he did that a lot, but I felt like his strength was more just playing off of somebody else this year.
Yeah, I mean, he played off Luka.
That kind of surprised me. I don't know. I guess I expected
That's
more.
That's what I was expecting when we got him. Was catch and shoot. I never thought you give him the ball and let him go to work.
That's what I don't know. I don't know why I was thinking that. I guess because he did that before, but maybe just not very efficiently. Now, one thing about Fred VanVleet is that he's probably going to get offered like a ton of money.
He might be worth it, though. I mean, 17 and almost 7 assists. I mean, 17 and 7, 17 and 6.
Yeah.
With 2 steals. The dude's a baller.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually a really good player, and I think the Maverick, he would fit perfectly with the Mavs. Instead of Trey Burke out there, it would be Fred VanVleet, who is consistent. He's a better defender. He's a big shot maker.
Yeah.
So I would love to have VanVleet. And honestly, if I really think about it, I might take VanVleet over DeRozan only because of the age.
Yeah. Well,
VanVleet would be part of their long term.
Yeah. VanVleet's 26, but yeah, still younger. The height, I mean, it might be an issue. He's 6'1".
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's that.
But it hasn't been an issue. You know, he played well in the finals the year before.
Okay. Next player, Gordon Hayward. Now, he has a player option. It's for $32 million. There's some, and this is kind of the same way as Hardaway. I've heard people say it could go either way. He could opt in because $32 million is hard to ignore. He could opt out because he instantly becomes trade bait if he opts in, and this is his last big deal, so you might as well go for it. I don't know. What do you think?
He's a lot less clear than Hardaway.
In terms of decision or performance?
Yeah, I honestly don't see any scenario where Hardaway opts in, but that's beside the point. With Hayward, because it's $32 million, and he's not going to get anywhere near that in free agency, not even close. But I think he has to opt out because if he opts in, he's going to get traded. So he has to ask himself, where do I want to play? Because if he opts in, he's going to be traded. Unless Boston, there's no way Boston doesn't trade him. $30 million for a guy that comes off your bench. Yeah. Like if he were making half that, they'd love to keep him. They'd keep him for 10 years. But $32 million coming, it really hinders them on what they can do in free agency or whatever. So I think he opts out because I think he would get traded. And maybe he doesn't care. And also it's going to be probably his last contract.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so what would he get offered? 4 years? I don't know what.
I have no
60?
idea. Yeah, it's like...
But $32 million, is he going to make that? I mean, how many years would it take to make that with his next deal?
No, I think he's worth 17, 18
so,
million. Yeah, so he's still going to get a
yeah.
pretty decent contract, in my opinion.
Well, and also, here's the thing. Like, the whole coming off the bench thing, that was really only in the playoffs. He started every game in the regular season that he played.
But even the year before, he came off the bench.
The year before, he came... Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess that's the argument.
And I don't think he ever had in his mind, "Hey, I'm going to go to Boston and be the sixth man."
Bench.
Yeah, he signed there.
Never seen a former MVP come off the bench. Never seen it.
Yeah, I mean, he came there he signed the max deal to be the star there. Now things change where Tatum and Brown or whatever, but he should still be starting. I don't know.
Okay, so do you think he fits with the Mavericks?
Yeah, I think he fits in any team.
Yeah.
I think he can go anywhere.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
And I know he's got the injury thing. He's had some weird stuff happen with that. He's 30 years old. So, again, it's like I've said with all these guys, none of them are perfect.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think he fits.
I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
I really don't. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he opted in, and I wouldn't be surprised if he opted out.
We're just saying hypothetically if he opted out, would you want him on the Mavericks?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it's, again, just that second
you put him in that small forward
slot
for the Mavs.
Okay, the next is Tim Hardaway Jr.
We've already talked about him.
Yeah, let's talk about everybody else before we do that. The next player is Serge Ibaka. So he's an unrestricted free agent. Last year, he played 27 minutes, came off the bench, averaged 15 points, 8 rebounds. So I think that, and I think we might have talked about this in the last episode, I think that he works because of the way that they want to use Kristaps going forward, at least my theory of how they want to use Kristaps, and that is to keep him on the perimeter. So you would need a guy, whether he plays the 4 or the 5, I don't know, but you would need a guy who can play inside and possibly be the role guy. And I think Ibaka fits in with that. Plus, he helps defensively. Even though he's older and probably not the same player, It's not like, I mean, he's
He
31.
still averaged 15 and 8.
Yeah, he's 31, so it's not like he's an old man. But, he's not 28 anymore. But I think he fits. Yeah, for 15 and 8, and almost a block per game.
I just can't see the Mavericks spending a lot of money on bigs. They've already invested so much money with Dwight Powell and Kristaps Porzingis. And if you put more money in the bigs, you're avoiding any cap space. You're eliminating any cap space or any money you can put on playmakers, which is really where the league needs to be, where the league is right now is playmakers. So I just, as much as he may fit, not fit, whatever, I have my own opinions. I just don't see them spending a lot of money on him. They need a playmaker. So again, I think, and so I don't think Porzingis can play the 4 in today's league. I think he has to play the 5.
Problem.
Yeah.
But say you had a guy like
Ibaka can't really guard a wing.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
I think Dorian has to be the 4 and Porzingis has to be the 5. The problem is the other wing, the final wing slot is where the Mavericks problem lies. And you would want that to be a playmaker, somebody that can make plays, but also they literally have no playmaker outside of Luka.
So, I agree with you. I'm just going back to the beginning of the season, the way they played it when Dwight Powell was healthy, and I think that's how they want to keep playing it, where they have 2 bigs, one is the roller, one's the pop guy.
Then they just go with Dwight Powell. I just can't see them spending more money on another big.
Okay.
So I think if they were going to planning on doing that to where Porzingis went back to the 4, they would just keep Dwight Powell at that slot.
Because of the price, or did they just
because
think
of the cost? Yeah,
great?
again, you're going to invest too much money now on bigs.
I think I see what you're saying. So maybe you could upgrade from Dwight Powell, but your point is that what they need more than that is a perimeter
Ibaka
player.
is on another planet than
Dwight Powell.
Great Dwight Powell and how important he is to the Mavs.
But your point is that they need a wing more. They can live with what they currently have there as long as they get some guy on the wing. Okay.
Exactly.
I think I can understand that. So then, I don't know if this guy, you want to talk too much about him. He is a wing. It's Davis Bertans. He averaged 15 points. Basically, this guy's a sniper. I don't know if that fits in with what you think that they need, though.
Well, anytime you can get a
sniper,
you try to get him, again, for the right price. But I think their biggest need is a playmaking wing.
Okay. The next guy we have is Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Bogey.
I don't know. I mean, he's a good fit next to Luka. I don't know if he's a huge upgrade from Tim Hardaway Jr. Averaged 15 points a game,
which is the same as Tim
Hardaway.
But again, he's a different kind of player than Hardaway.
Oh, okay.
He actually
and also,
play initiator.
He's a restricted free agent.
Yeah, I think
what?
I think any team can come in and offer him max money, just hypothetically, and the Kings would not match it. But if Dallas came and offered him the max, they would match it. They are not letting him go to Dallas.
But that regime is gone.
Yes, but Vlade the ownership is there, and the fans are there, and now you didn't draft Luka.
It would just be like the nail in the coffin.
Yes, it'd be like they're done. So I just can't imagine any scenario where the Kings allow Bogdan Bogdanovic, unless they did a sign and trade where Hardaway went to Sacramento, which, again, why would he do that?
I agree with you. Restricted free agents are always so hard to get because
you have to offer them
you have to overpay.
Of money.
Even if you think the team isn't going to match it, like if you're like, they're not going to match just because of the player, you still have to offer more just because. Yeah.
And the problem with the Kings is they offered Buddy Hield all that money.
Yeah.
So now
now he wants out.
Well, yeah, but you can't pay Buddy Hield and Bogdan Bogdanovic where one comes off the bench and the other doesn't.
Yeah.
And then you can't pay Bogdan Bogdanovic less than Buddy Hield, like
when starting okay, this next guy, you've been high on him, and I was always like, I don't know enough about him, but I watched some film and like, bro, I think I'm with you.
I don't remember who this is.
It's Joe Harris for the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so this guy, I probably should have put this as higher up on the list. Joe Harris plays for the Brooklyn Nets. He's an unrestricted free agent. He made $8 million last year. Now, this guy, like, he's known for being a 3-point shooter. He's known for being a sniper. He was in the 3-point contest. He is all of that. He is I think, like, the best 3-point shooter in the league right now, just percentage-wise. But also, he can make plays with the ball. Like, if you watch him, yeah, he has games where he just hits 6 threes and, shuts it down. But he can make plays coming off of screens, coming off of picks. He moves well without the ball, not just to get open for threes, but to get open for cuts and dives to the rim. And again, with the ball, coming off of picks, he can make plays with the ball. He has a big body. He can finish pretty well at the rim. Now, I'm not saying, he's like an all-star or whatever. I'm just saying that he can do that. If you think of him as just like, oh, he's not good enough because all he does is shoot threes, that's actually not true. When you watch him, he can make plays with the ball. And I don't know. Even after watching him and watching the film, I'm kind of high on him now. I feel like he would be a good pickup.
Dude shot 46% from 3 2 years ago. 46. Some
and
people don't ever do that ever.
Yeah.
And they're any field goal percentage
you know
anywhere.
What? You're wrong. He shot 47.4%
from 3
on threes.
Yes. So this is legit level, sniper level.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Mavericks are going to do in free agency, but I hope Joe Harris is high on their list. So I'm thinking what's going to happen is they want to re-sign Hardaway. And if you can do that, I would love to have Joe Harris as our 3.
Okay.
So then you just have deadly shooting around Luka. And the good thing is Harris will want to come to Dallas.
Yes.
Because of Luka and because of the spacing.
Oh, yeah, man.
They create more open shots than any team in the league, and that's a provable stat.
Yeah. When I was watching Joe Harris, I was like, oh, my God, this guy with Luka. And now again, 3-point shooting, that's not even all he can do.
No, but he is. So I would, my starting lineup next year, I would love to have would be Luka, Hardaway, Harris, Dodo. And Porzingis.
Okay, and here's the other thing. There's an argument to be made if you look at the numbers and analytics and whatever, if you don't like that or whatever. It's just, if you look at him, there's an argument to be made that he is a better defender than Tim Hardaway Jr.
He is a good defender.
Yeah.
He doesn't get any respect for his defense, but he's actually a quality defensive player.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he had more defensive win shares, which is an accumulative stat, so it could have to do with minutes, but he had more defensive win shares, a better defensive box plus minus, and I want to say a better value over replacement player, but that's getting into other stuff. But yeah, there's an argument to be made that he is a better defender than Hardaway. Not saying he's Klay Thompson, but the
dude is a poor man's Klay Thompson.
He's
a poor man's Klay Thompson.
He kind of plays similarly.
Yes.
No. Like, you have to be careful when you say things like that, because it's like, he ain't Klay Thompson. It's like, I'm just saying.
Klay Thompson's on another planet.
Yeah, I'm just saying the style.
What you're looking for.
The kinds of movements and shots. I'm not saying the skill level is as high or the talent level. It's just a similar style of play.
Joe Harris, and I hope the Mavs want him, and I hope how could he not want to come here and play with Luka and get
spacing,
open three after open three? I mean, Hardaway, who just had his best year shooting threes, and he was a below average 3-point shooter. So imagine bringing him. He's going to shoot 90% from 3 in Dallas.
Now, I mean, like, that was this past year he shot 42%. The season before he shot 42%. But that's still very good.
Oh, yeah.
42.4% is still very good.
And that's on a bad team with no spacing.
Yeah, well, on like a mediocre team.
Well, last year they were bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year they were bad. But you got to convince him to leave Kyrie and Durant. But I think they have a chance now.
Kyrie, who says they don't have a head coach.
Yes. Yeah. Kyrie, I'm
surprised
psycho.
Steve Nash hasn't left.
I know. But no, I think Joe Harris would be perfect. Absolutely perfect for the Mavericks.
And so if you look at his numbers the past 4 years, scoring-wise, 8 points, 10 points, 13 points, 14 points. He's reaching his prime. Again, I'm not saying this guy is going to become a 20, 25-point scorer. I'm just saying he's going to get better. And even in his current state, he's a good player. Now I don't know if you replace, Hardaway with Harris, are you as good of a team?
I think you're better.
Is he an upgrade over Hardaway?
I think he's an upgrade over Tim Hardaway.
It's
if
tough.
you were to swap Hardaway for Joe Harris, which is, by the way, a legit possibility because Hardaway may not want to opt in.
And Harris, I don't think will get high offers.
Oh, I think he will.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of GMs out there that no, but
people know.
Those that know. No.
Oh, okay. It's one of those.
Those that know.
No.
But there's a possibility you do a sign and trade. You swap Hardaway for Joe Harris because Hardaway, although he wants to stay in Dallas, he'll get a long-term deal and he'll still go play in Brooklyn with Kyrie and Durant. So he'll still have a good year.
It's a win-win.
Yeah. So and I think Joe Harris would be an upgrade over Hardaway.
Yeah, I don't know if he would be an upgrade, but I think that he is a good player, and I think he brings some things that Hardaway doesn't bring. And if Hardaway is gone or whatever, he wants more than you want to pay him, I think Harris is a good replacement.
Oh, hands down, 100% agree.
Yeah. All right, we're an hour into this thing. We have 2 more. Actually, we have like 5 more. Do you want to do the full list? We have 5 more players. I'll just lay it on you.
We're getting low on the totem pole now.
Okay, Jerami Grant. This is like a lot of guys' golden boy. This is the guy the Mavericks absolutely have to get.
For the right price, yes, I'd love to have him.
Now he has a player option. It's for $9.1 million. I think he's probably going to opt out and cash in.
Yeah. I agree. The thing is with me is where does he fit on the starting lineup?
See, I think he's just like Dorian Finney-Smith.
Right. Now,
and we talked about this last time where I think Finney-Smith, they want him to be on the trajectory of a Jerami Grant.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll do that, but say he does, then he's kind of a redundancy.
Yeah, I just don't think you can have Grant and Finney-Smith on the court at the same time because offensively it would hurt you.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that kind of player makes sense off the bench. Is that
no?
Okay.
No, I think he's a starting 5.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's the style of player that you start.
I'd like to have. I know there's a lot of Mavs fans. Jerami Grant. You know, look, I'm not saying I don't want him, but I think it's a little redundant for the Mavs. And again, you're asking to put a lot of money on front court players.
On a guy that's not going to... I mean, he averaged 12 points a game last year. And he's a 3-and-D guy. I get that. And he's very good at it.
I know he's a D guy. I don't know if you can drop the 3 in there. I think Dorian's a better three-point shooter than him.
Let me check. If I remember correctly... he shot 39% on threes this past season.
Okay, so he's actually better than Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah,
so he would probably steal Dorian's job.
Now, again, Dorian has progressed every season. So theoretically... He's will get to where,
point,
But even then, it's not, an insane amount better than Dorian. And like you said, they're kind of the same player. And then ultimately, what you're saying is like what they really need is a wing playmaker. And so, does Jerami Grant move the needle enough in terms of wins to make it?
No.
To make it worth it.
The money, right? No.
Okay. This is a guy I had on my list, Paul Millsap. The only thing is, when I looked at the numbers, he averaged 11.5 points, less than 6 rebounds, played 24 minutes. He's 35 years old.
Move on.
I don't know. Yeah, it was okay. Now, this next guy is a guy that I really want, and I wish the Mavericks had never traded him. When When they traded him, I was like, oh, God, that's like, it was when they got Rondo, and I was like, I get it. We're getting
Just say
Rondo.
the name. You're killing the listeners.
It's Jae Crowder. Okay, and when they traded for Rondo, I was like, I get it. We're getting Rondo. But I really didn't want to let go of Jae Crowder, and he's been a really solid player. And like, I get it. He's been traded like 5 times since then. And, how great can he be if every team trades him? But I just think that he is a very solid player and does his job. He does it well, and he never does anything that hurts you. And I think one thing that the Mavericks need is a tough wing defender. Now, we were just talking about Dorian, how Jerami Grant would be a redundancy, but
Jay's a little different.
Yeah, Jay is a little different, and he's
a little bit more mobile. If he got stuck on a guard, he can guard a wing
and
or
his
a
toughness.
Guard.
I think he brings something intangible to the team that is so important right now.
I think he's a perfect fit for the Mavs. You want to pay him $35 million a year, and I want to pay him like the mid-level exception.
Okay, like the mid-level is 9. This year he made 7, so 9 might be enough.
Yes,
I think
you think some team's going to come in and drop $35 million.
I was thinking maybe like Okay, the number I thought of was 11. And I don't know. Maybe I sound like an idiot for that.
No,
but
maybe that might be something he gets, but that would be the most. Like that would scare all the other teams away. But all right, you want him.
What he's done with the Heat in the playoffs, and anytime you do anything in the playoffs, you're bound to get overpaid for it. I think what he's done for the Heat has drawn a lot of attention to himself, and I think he fits what the Mavericks need as a player, skill wise, but also mentally. His shooting, his defense, his attitude, I think all of that is just what they need. So yeah, he's pretty high on my list. Not that, obviously they're not going to use the $20 million on him, but if they could use the $20 million to bring in another all-star / borderline all-star, this is like dreamland. And then also Jae Crowder with something else. I think that would be.
I mean, if your starting lineup next year is Luka, VanVleet, Crowder, Dorian, and Porzingis, that's a 50-win team.
Okay, next two players, Avery Bradley.
Yeah.
He's on the list.
Yeah, he's there.
He's on the list.
He's Plan Z.
Derrick Jones Jr.
I know the Mavericks are in a love fest for him, but
he's an unrestricted free agent.
I think he stays in Miami. Why would he not?
They have bird rights. He made 1.6 last year. Everybody likes Derrick Jones Jr. He scores 8.5 points a game, but everyone loves him.
He's a quality player.
So, yeah.
But the money's going to be so beneficial that the Heat will probably just keep him. And why wouldn't he want to stay? He made the finals.
Yeah.
He likes Jimmy Butler.
And the Heat are good, an awesome team.
And it's Miami.
All that. Okay, so those are the 15 guys that are on our list as free agents for the Mavericks. And let us know what you think of them. Like, are we crazy for being in love with Joe Harris? I mean, he's a solid looking man too. I'll be honest about that.
Wow.
And then,
here.
What do you think about DeMar DeRozan and the 2-pointers? Is that a deal breaker for you? Let us know what you think of all these free agents. And then, like I said, I'm going to post the top 10 on the blog and kind of go through that. And I think I'm going to do a series where I do the top 10 and then the top free agents per position. So top point guards, top shooting guards that the Mavericks should target. But I'm definitely doing the top 10. This has been a massive episode. I knew it would be, but I just wanted to go through all of them. Thanks guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, feel free to leave a review. You don't have to, it's totally optional, but we appreciate all of the support. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.